So today I am going to make for you guys one of my absolute favorite cakes right around springtime, which is a really bright citrus poppy seed olive oil loaf cake. So I'm one of those people when I'm craving something sweet, I don't want cookies, I don't want candy, I don't want ice cream. What I crave is a moist cake. So I'm going to deliver that to you guys right now. What I love about this particular cake is that it is really, really bright and vibrant in those citrus flavors. And the reason being is that I'm gonna zest 2 lemons and 1 orange, and I'm gonna mix that together with the sugar, and then I'm gonna massage it with my hands. And essentially what that's going to do is release all of the essential oils in the citrus into the sugar. So it's really going to be a bold, vibrant flavor of those citrus notes. Another thing I really love about this cake is the fact that there is buttermilk in it. And I'll tell you why buttermilk is really special in a cake. There's that tanginess in the buttermilk, and it also adds an acidity, which basically combines with the gluten, and it tenderizes the gluten, and it gives a kind of airier, softer texture to the cake. The olive oil. The olive oil is definitely what's really giving that moistness to the cake. But olive oil has a very rich flavor, a very identifiable flavor. So what I love is the way those citrus notes mix together with those richer notes from the olive oil, and they kind of balance one another out in a beautiful way. I'm gonna take you through this process. It's a really simple cake. It's a really delicious cake. And I love it for this time of year. All right, I have gone ahead and measured out 1 1/4 cup of sugar. I'm just going to massage the sugar into the orange and lemon zest, releasing the essential oils and all of those incredible, vibrant citrus flavors. So I would do this, I don't know, for about a minute or so. 2 eggs. I brought these to room temperature because I always feel that cakes just do better when eggs are brought to room temperature. I love that you don't need a mixer for this cake. We are going to add the wet ingredients. So I'm going to add 3/4 cup of olive oil. I'm also going to add the buttermilk here, but I did want to mention that I have made this numerous times with coconut milk if you want to make it dairy-free, or you can also use yogurt or sour cream. So those are great substitutes. So I didn't mention this earlier, but I'm going to put a little dessert wine in it, just 1/4 cup. You of course do not have to do this, but I always like to put a little bit of booze in my cakes. You could use so many different things. You could use Madeira wine, which is like a cooking sweet wine, a Vincento. You could even try bourbon. So we have our wet ingredients in there. I'm gonna add the flour now. It is 1 1/4 cup. And I'm going to sift the flour just to make it that much more fine, to be sure there aren't very many clumps. And I'm going to quickly whisk that. A mistake that I made the last time I made this was I sifted it in to the wet ingredients, but I didn't whisk it right away, and then there were clumps of flour, which is not good. So I'm going to whisk this right away, and I'm going to add the other dry ingredients, which is baking soda and salt. 1/4 teaspoon salt, 1/4 teaspoon of baking soda. And then this is totally optional. I really love that added crunch that poppy seeds add. So I'm gonna do 1 tablespoon of poppy seeds. You can eliminate this. Oh, and another thing I forgot to mention is a great booze to add to this would be Grand Marnier, because Grand Marnier has orange notes in it already. Okay, so I have this very old vintage baking pan, and I'm going to give it a quick spray, nonstick baking spray. And then I went ahead with some parchment and I cut it the width of the bottom of the pan. And then I took another sheet and I kind of folded it over. So I'm going to spray this again to help adhere it. Now this is lined in parchment. All right, let's pour this baby in. So I forgot to mention that you are to preheat your oven to 350 degrees. And I would check on this after 45 minutes, but my gut is that it's gonna need closer to an hour. Our cake right here just came out of the oven. It ended up being in for about 50 minutes, 50. What I'm gonna do now, and this is absolutely optional, I have about 3/4 cup of confectioner sugar here. And then I have some lemon and some orange, 1 lemon, 1 orange. I am going to make a little bit of a glaze that I'm gonna pour over the cake. Now I'm not doing this as an icing. I'm really doing it more to infuse that much more flavor into the cake and have it kind of sink into the center of the cake. I'm in a zest. I have no more oranges, so I'm gonna use this clementine. But I'm in a zest. I want it to be a little bit more citrusy, but I can't put any more liquid in, otherwise it'll get too thin. So I decided to zest this clementine. So that little bit of orange really gave it that brightness that I was wanting on the finish. So here is why you use the parchment. You can pull these 2 tabs up and it pulls the cake right out for you.